Okay. Two things about faith. All right, faith is allowing yourself to fully want something and letting go of any fear that you won't get it, that you won't receive it. And the second thing is letting go of any requirement that it happens, that it actually happens. So faith is two things. Allowing yourself to fully want it, then allowing yourself to let go of fear that it won't happen. And then, so I guess three things. And then letting go of any requirement that it does happen. So, and then within that full allowance of desire, without the requirement of any thing to respond to that desire, we sort of, if we can sort of meditate on that, be with it, allow that to exist within us. Often it feels, our desires sort of become little surges of painful pangs for the things that we want in this life that we don't feel like we can have. And then so our temptation is to do like one of two things, like submerge ourselves and deny that we have this desire, or somehow put it out of focus, sort of delete that part of ourselves, put our attention on something to distract us. We do escapism essentially in many forms. We get addicted to things to distract us from what we really want. And the other thing that we do to cope with our desires that we are afraid of is we come up with some like complex strategy of like, if I do this fucking long ass sequence of things that is very complicated and involves a lot of effort and energy expenditure, then I will be allowed to have the thing that I want. But in letting go of all that, to just be with the desire without any requirement that you be any different than what you are, because desire, whatever it may be, is what you are. Because that you can't really separate yourself from your true desires. And so really being with it begins to inform you more and more about the true nature of your desire. And so like often we add a lot of false veils. We add a lot of things that we paste onto the surface of our desire and say, this thing will do. This one will do. This one is like my thing that I wanted.
Yes.
But it's not really what you wanted. That's only like some surface level thing. And then when your heart interacts with it, it feels off. It's like somehow, it's like in the Twilight Zone, like this guy, he like dies and then, he gets everything, the devil sort of gives him everything he wants. And now he's like some criminal who like was killed in a robbery. And now he's able to get everything he wants. But then he realizes, the part of the reason that he does the crimes is because he likes the fear of, the danger of the loss, and, the fear of like maybe getting caught. And so he says to the devil, hey, I'm getting bored of like getting everything that I want for free. I want to go out. I want to have this experience where maybe I could get caught. And so, like he can get whatever he wants. So the devil gives it to him. So he goes out, he does a robbery or something. I don't remember the specific details, but that doesn't really matter. So he does a robbery, and, he gets caught. But now he's in prison, and he's in prison forever. Because he's in the Twilight Zone. He's in hell. And so, that's not, that's sort of like a good example of, when something feels off about when we receive it. It's like, are we really in heaven? Like, I'm getting everything that I want here, but like somehow my heart is not, it doesn't sing with this. Like, I got what I wanted. It's like a rich man, a lot of rich, wealthy people, they acquire a lot of wealth in this life, and now they can sort of buy their way past what their heart is really wanting. And they wonder, like, God damn it, it's like nothing satisfies me. It's like I can't buy my way to happiness. Why can't I just, if I just, I need these things. I'm going after these things, I want these things. I can make these people I can bring these people in my life. I can sort of buy these people. I can buy these services. I can buy these things. I can buy these properties. I can control these, but there's no love, there's no, the heart is still like, nah, like if you ever watch Crocodile Dundee, they give him some food and he's like, nah, needs garlic. And that's sort of like the heart, the heart, the rich man, he can buy what he wants, what his ego sort of wants, but, what his heart wants, you can't really bypass that with convenience, with the convenience of power and wealth, you kind of have to learn faith, because if it doesn't come from faith, it doesn't come from love. If it comes from some expectation, that, I have to have it in this other way. Yeah, I have to have it, and then, I want it, because your heart will recognize what it wants when it sees it, And so, like, by meditating on what your desire is without putting any requirements on it, you will become more wise to who you really are and what you really want in this life. And so, we often get triggered and scared into wanting, into compromising to things that, like, okay, yeah, like I'll just reach out and grab this, like, first thing that comes along that sort of reminds me of the thing that I would like. But then if it doesn't, then it doesn't feel right. It's like, no, like, your heart says no, and then you try to, like, then you'd, like, do this long fucking courtroom drama inside yourself. No, it's, like, actually what I wanted, because, it, like, meets all these things on my list. And then you try to, like, edit your list. You're like, oh, fuck, well, this doesn't quite fit, but, yeah, a new list. Yeah, I fucked up on that one, So it's like, yeah, faith is, I'll try to reiterate, faith is like three things. It's allowing yourself to fully want what you want. It's allowing yourself to let go of the fear of not having what you want. And then the third thing is to let go of any requirement for that thing to become real. And so what that does for you it allows you to really look at what you want and find it. Yes, you're going to find it within yourself, because you're going to know what you want by recognizing it within yourself, because within yourself is sort of the mirror of what it is that your heart wants. You know, your heart is like, you know, it's the screen that shows you, you know, what your true desire is. And by putting any expectation on what that looks like other than what the feeling is and how it should happen and what you need to do in order to get it, that interferes with you really fully understanding what is in your heart, because you're putting weight on your heart that is other than what you want. And so inevitably you're going to divert your attention and get distracted, and you're going to get involved with fear and scarcity mentality. And so you'll lose sight of what you want by getting involved in some drama, you know, essentially. Some complex, fear-based thing that tells you that you're not good enough, or that other people are, you know, withholding what you want. Like, if you could get it from, if they would just give it to me for free, you know, like, why do they have to be so stingy? You know, it's like, no. It's not, you know, you don't, it's not within them to give you what you won't really give to yourself. Because when you find what it is that you really want, it will like fall into your hands effortlessly. Or it won't. But you'll still be at peace because you're not betraying your heart. You're not going against your heart and what your heart is really telling you. And that is, you know, what I call faith. Sort of letting go of the burdens that go along with the, you know, the things that draw us, that propel us forward in this world, that we feel attracted to, where we get, you know, we hear some soft music playing in the distance, and we kind of like, oh, you know, I want to hear where that music is coming from. And so, you know, the way you get closer to the music is you listen to it and you start gently walking in that direction. And that's sort of like the music that your heart is playing. And anyhow, there's a great deal of joy and satisfaction from having the strength to not collapse the world down into, you know, an uncomfortable reality where now you're like in hell, you're in the twilight zone, because you've sort of got off the elevator a little bit too soon, you know, before you got to the top of the building, you know. You left early, you know. Kind of have to be with your desire until it fully reveals to you what it is that you truly want. Until you really truly know what you want and what it looks like, you're not going to be able to find it. You know, you're just going to find little weird, decrepit versions of, you know, the life that you want, you know, in this material existence. Anyhow, so just some interesting thoughts here. I'll leave it here for now.